In China, there is a group of young people dressed in peculiar fashion. They are called shamat. Shamate brought tremendous spiritual comfort to these young people. After work, they would go out together in groups. Wherever they went, they became a striking sight. Although their income was not high, many of them just gathered together to wander or chat. Their most frequent hangout spots were skating rinks, where they could spend a whole day for just a few yuan. The Shamate lifestyle was actually not expensive. The hairstyling was slightly more costly, but other clothes and accessories were very cheap. A complete outfit could be put together for just 100 yuan. This cheap yet distinctive form of expression gave them a sense of freedom. These children from rural areas do not expect much. They can endure hard work. They even willingly sell their labor at a cheap price. However, over time, their energy and hope begin to gradually fade away. Loneliness and exhaustion slowly devour their souls. After a few months, many children hardly leave work. The QQ group becomes their only solace. When they see others share bits of the outside world, they are like birds trapped in a cage, occasionally feeling a glimpse of freedom and ease.
Every day, about 400 people gather. Sometimes the entire street is filled with colorful, explosive hairstyles. The emergence of Shamate subculture is not accidental, but the result of long-term accumulation. The main group consists of poor children from remote mountainous areas. Most of these children have to work in the city at a very young age, because their parents have been working far away for a long time, or because their parents are ill or have even passed away. They carry a sense of longing for the big city, naively believing that the city offers more opportunities. However, reality is cruel. They find themselves completely uncompetitive in the city. The only thing they can do is work in factories as laborers. Factories have strict age restrictions, and in order to get in, many have to borrow someone else's it. Even so, factories sometimes turn a blind eye, forcing these children to hide in boxes to avoid inspections. For those who can't enter the factory, some are left to wander the streets, suffering from hunger and cold. There was a boy who once lived under a bridge for 2 months, surviving by scavenging for trash. Later, through his efforts, he found a job at a restaurant. He proactively told the boss that he didn't need a salary, only wanted food. Some children are even more unfortunate. They enter factories, but face extremely harsh working conditions. The smell of paint and chemicals fills the factory. Toxic gases even permeate the air, seriously affecting the health of the children. Breathing difficulties, skin allergies, and other problems are common. Some factory equipment is dangerous. Machines for metal punching and the like can easily crush fingers if not handled carefully. The working hours stretch up to 12 hours, sometimes even 24 hours straight. But despite such high pressure, dangerous work, the overtime pay is only 1 yuan per hour.
Once, a young boy worked at a small factory owned by a small business owner. His tendon was crushed in a machine, and he asked the owner for compensation. But the owner threatened him, saying he could report him to the Labor Bureau. A 14-year-old rural boy didn't even know where the Labor Bureau was, and had no means to fight against such injustice. He could only quickly bandage the wound and continue working through the pain, because this job paid him 1,800 yuan a month. Although the working environment at a larger factory was slightly better, the assembly line workers in those factories were under so much pressure they could hardly breathe. Each person had to maintain high efficiency every day, or the whole production line would be affected. Moreover, the factory's management was strict. Being 1 minute late would result in a 50 yuan salary deduction. Requests for leave had to go through multiple levels of approval. Even going to the restroom required the manager's signature. Sometimes, when the manager couldn't be found, workers could only handle their business in the workshop.
Long hours of overtime and monotonous work made these young people feel desperate. Especially in the quiet of the night, they often felt isolated and helpless. In this oppressive environment, the Shamate culture was like a beam of light that illuminated their world. Many began to express themselves through exaggerated hairstyles and tattoos. The Shamate appearance became their shield, giving them a form of protection. Even when criticized, they enjoyed it, because compared to being ignored, being criticized at least meant someone cared about them. More and more people are joining the ranks of shamat, a subculture in China. They wear studded leather jackets and pierce their ears, sporting brightly colored hairstyles. All of this gives them an unprecedented sense of freedom and belonging. The shamat style quickly spread among them, becoming their signature. Hundreds of shamat gather together, sharing each other's experiences and emotions. The shamat style has become a way for this group to express themselves. In fact, some boys were even dumped by their girlfriends for having once had a buzz cut. The Shamate group has a strong sense of exclusion. They almost only form friendships or romantic relationships with people within their own circle. If you're not shamat, you won't even get a glance from a girl. But if you are shamat, it's easy to exchange contact information. Most shamat relationships are built on material conditions. There's a couple that has reached the point of discussing marriage, but because the girl demanded a 15,000 wen bride price, the boy ultimately chose to break up. The boy's family is not wealthy, his father is suffering from health problems due to years of hard labor, and his mother can't work because of an injury from a factory accident. In the end, they couldn't overcome the financial barriers and their love came to an end.